A little hungover, a little bit sick, but you know what? Your boy's out here ready for the grind. And today, the grind is what could possibly be one of the best card tricks of all time, performed by what could possibly be one of the best card magicians of all time in Bill Malone. Specifically, this trick is known as Sam the Bellhop, and it's what I think one of the finest card tricks. Very simple in terms of method, but in terms of presentation, it really is a trick that can engage any and every participant with the story. This video is actually sponsored by the Daily Magician. Daily Magician, I've done their podcast. They're phenomenal. They're great guys. And here they're offering a nice little newsletter where when you sign up, you get 24 classic magic books for free. You should definitely check it out. You get access to all of these classic books as well as a daily newsletter that they send to your inbox, going over a wide array of topics all designed to improve your magic and to let you know about things that are going on around in the industry. The last one that I saw was a simple recipe for a great magic trick where they go over all the different rules needed to make a very simple magic trick. And they're always great reads. They're quick, they're fun, and they're engaging. Why not just check it out, thedailymagician.com.
Okay, let's try. How about a story? Do you like stories? Everyone say yes. Everyone say yes. Okay, good crowd. Can everyone see all the cards? Just say yes. Yeah. It really is. It's a regular deck of cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by telling all of you a little story about a guy named Sam the Bellhop who used to own his own little restaurant right down the street from the 654 Club. You ever been at a 654 Club?
654 Club, no.
You don't go out that much. It's okay, I understand. What do you do for a living?
I built it.
Oh, okay, I'll go slower then. So here's what we're going to do.
I feel like if you ever answer a question that Bill Malone gives you, just know that you are about to get roasted. And here, this guy gets roasted 2 in a row in less than 5 seconds without any effort whatsoever on behalf of this cute little Jewish man. Or I think he's Jewish, I don't know. Well, here we're getting the introduction to the routine Sam the Bellhop. And as you can see, it's a lot of false shuffles. And Bill Malone, of course, is second to none when it comes to his techniques. And you can see that he carries off a 0 shuffle followed by some strip shuffles. They're all false. And that's to facilitate the deck remaining in the order in order to be able to tell the story of the trick, which is what makes this so astonishing, that despite all the shuffles, all the mixes, it doesn't matter. You're still able to tell the story without ever skipping a beat. And of course, this is a testament to Bill Malone's ability as a performer because he's able to convey the story in a humorous way, all while not only memorizing, in this case, the entire storyline, but also maintaining the deck in the original order.
What I'm going to do, please, settle down. I'm sorry you had to hear that. So this is the story of Sam the Bellhop and the 654 Club. This may bring back some memories. I know you've been there, David. Okay?
No, I haven't.
David.
What is it?
Okay, let's just talk later because I'm right in the middle of the story. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me come over there because I'll hit you so many times you'll think you're surrounded. You'll be picking your nose out of a catalog, big guy. Huh? You want me, don't you? You've been checking me out all night. Good. Oh, baby. You should be in 3D. That's my room number. I'm at the Hyatt, just so you know.
I hate to break down jokes here, but the key is to punch up, If you're punching down, that's when the audience is going to see that you're superior, you're better than them. If you're like a hot guy and you're doing all this bit, it's not going to work out. But if you're someone that looks like Bill Malone in this case, he looks like he sells carpets on the side of the road, you could get away with not only threatening your audience like he does, where he threatens David, but he also solicits what could potentially be sexual favors from the participant to his left. So you could do this if you're punching up. If you're punching down, that's when you lose the audience. So just a little bit of a tidbit there. Don't try to copy the jokes. Maybe I can because I'm very short, so I'd always technically punching up.
You'll be there. All right, so anyway, this is the story. One day, Sam the Bellhop was sitting in his restaurant, and it was kind of slow that night, almost like here. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the 2 big doors opened up wide, and into the restaurant walked 4 gentlemen dressed like kings. That's what they look like. Now, please settle down. There's more. Now, they're sitting there for a little while, and they're getting kind of bored, so they called Sam over. They said, "Excuse us, Sam, this is our first time here, and we're kind of lonely. Would you do us a favor? Would you find us some women to help make the time go by?" Sam looked at his watch and said, "Well, it's kind of early, but I'll see what I could do." So the cards were cut, sir. I'm sorry about that. I meant David. I meant to say Dave. I'm sorry. So the cards were cut. Nobody has ever done it that well, by the way. Okay. So the cards were cut. Sam took a little walk. He walked down 1, 2, 3 blocks, said the best we could do is a couple brunettes and a couple of redheads. They said, "Sam, they're beautiful. Where'd you get them?" He said, "Oh, the 654 Club right down the block."
And you could see what the general effect is. Despite its easy method, which is just a bunch of false shuffles and false cuts, if you practice those, you'll be good to go. You also have to be able to convey the story without skipping a beat. And here, Bill Malone not only conveys the story, but he has the time to make little individual quips about the participant, all without ever compromising the story of the routine. If you want to learn false shuffles, I suggest the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,500 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff, everything you need to become the best magician could possibly be, all for the low price of just a single White Claw a month, which is $5. $5 a month, you get access to all that content. What? Are you crazy? I know I am for making such a good bargain, and I'm always uploading new content, so check it out. Now, there are a couple different ways of conveying this effect to an audience. The first one is the one that's being presented by Bill Malone. In this case, he's doing it as a means and exercise and control, where he's shuffling the cards and technically shuffling and controlling the cards to correspond to the story and the line that he's telling in the pattern. So that's the way that he's presenting, which I think is a great way to do it. The other way to do it is almost as an exercise in improv, where you're turning cards over seemingly, and then you do this improv to the audience where you are pretending like you are coming up with a story as the cards are being produced. But then eventually, as the routine goes on, then you could start producing the four of a kinds for different cards, and it becomes an exercise in control. But it's still a different presentation that I've seen with this style effect that might appeal to you if you're thinking as to how you could make this work for your performance.
They said, Sam, you're a heck of a guy. Here's a $2 tip for you, Sam, a $2 tip. So now they're sitting there with the girls, if you know what I mean, and I think you do, sir. All of a sudden, they get kind of bored and they feel like having a game of cards. The only trouble is they don't have enough card players. They said, Sam, would you do us a favor? Would you find us some card players? Sam looked at his watch and said, well, it's still kind of early, but I'll see what I could do. So the cards were cut once more. Would you cut them? I like when you do it. Yeah, this is cool. Man, wow.
I'd love to see a magician try to get away with doing that little line of patter and joke with the participant now. That video will be posted all over Facebook, probably a magician's only group, and he'll be lambasted, called a sexual predator, all for making an innocent and funny joke, in this case, at his own expense. If you ever want to see a perfect example of virtue signaling and white knighting, I want you to go ahead and take a look, take a swift gander at that magician's only group, where you'll find the whitest of knights defending anytime any female magician is criticized, or you'll even find such wonderful posts like "we should question ladies and gentlemen" as a phrase to open up a show because it's not inclusive enough. Ugh, my goodness, that is the swamp.
So the cards were cut. Sam took another walk, 1, 2, even took a left down Crimp Street, and said the best we could do is 4 guys, but they're all named Jack. They said, Sam, that's what they said. Oh my God. They said, they're beautiful. Where'd you get them? He said, oh, the 654 Club right down the block. They said, Sam, you really are a heck of a guy. Here's another $2 tip for you. So now they're in this big poker game. All of a sudden, the Kings run into some bad luck, and they owe the girls some money. The only trouble is, all they have is a $40 check. They said, Sam, would you do us a favor? Would you cash the check and get us a couple of 20s? Sam said, well, I didn't even have this when I came here. Thanks a lot, you guys. Sam said, well, it's still early, but I'll see what I could do. So the cards were cut once more. Would you cut the cards? Thank you very much. Okay, so what happened was, Sam, what? I'm sorry. That was, I don't know why, I don't know what came up. I'm sorry. I don't know why I tried to do that. You know, sometimes, you know, you're in the middle of the show, you're not thinking, and you just don't, you know what I'm saying? What? Come on, you guys, you're my people. Don't turn on me now. Go on. I'm so sorry, sir. God, thanks a lot. I like when you did it. Go on, you can put it back. Just hold the brake there a little bit. Oh, no, never mind. Just, you know, do whatever you want, pretty much. All right.
And as I've mentioned before, this is what really makes this effect a modern classic for me. Not only the fact that Bill Malone is able to convey the story without ever skipping a beat, as I've said about 20,000 times, but also the fact that he's able to riff with the audience and still makes it an entertaining thing, because technically all you're doing is false shuffling the deck and turning cards over. But if you want to even have a little sliver of similarity to what Bill Malone is doing, this routine is going to require years of practice, just in a sense of timing, of riffing, of being able to nail all the lines precisely as you're turning all the cards over. It's not just a simple routine as what is technically required to get it away. The routine is not the method in terms of the sleight of hand. The routine is how you're able to convey that to the audience. That's the real secret of this trick.
So the cards were cut again. Sam took another walk, 1, 2, 3 blocks, said, we're all out of 20s, we had to give you 4 10s. They said, well, Sam, that's great. Here's another $2 tip for you. So now they're really starting to like this guy, Sam. They said, you know what, Sam, this is our first time here, but we're coming here again. You really are a nice guy. You remind us of that magician, Bill Malone. He says, oh, thank you. Nobody's that nice, for crying out loud.
And here, the other secret of Bill Malone's magic is that he likes to incorporate either the name of the brand that he's working for or his own name as often as possible. So that way, the participants remember him. It's not just this magician that told this great story or the card trick. They remember Bill Malone. And he does this with the chants as well, the Bill Malone that he's gone over many times in his performances. But that's all carefully crafted in order to have the participants remember him, which is going to lead to subsequent bookings and more money in his pocket. So it's a nice thing to try to see how you could incorporate that into your own work.
They said, Sam, you're kind of a young guy. He said, kind of. They said, we guess your age to be what, about 38? He says, you're close, I'm 39. They said, do you live here at the club? He says, oh no, I live in a classy part of town. I live in Lake Tahoe. It's a joke. They said, Sam, what's your address? He says, I live at 1329 West 8th Street. They said, do you gamble? He says, every day at the 654 Club, right down the block. They said, do you ever see any good poker hands? They said, you wouldn't believe it. The other day, this guy, Louis Falanga himself, came by, had 3 7s and a pair of 8s. They said, wow, that's a full house. Did he win? They said, no, this other guy, David, he was there. He had 3 aces and a pair of 9s. They said, did he win? They said, no, Bill Malone, the magician, he had a straight flush. And that's the story of Sam the Bellhop.
For the real virgins out there, according to the Magicpedia and Genie magazine, this is actually a variation of a trick known as the Soldier's Prayer Book, which is a classic plot in card magic in which the cards are used to tell a story. According to the article here, there's been various versions published, one in Brussels as far as 1778. So this goes way before Bill Malone. And even the original Sam the Bellhop trick was actually published before the story itself. Bill Malone made it his own by adding a bunch of shuffles and cuts and his personality and turning it into a true modern classic. However, nothing is more of a modern classic than these nuts.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.